Okay, so this is kind of a diagram of the major, just to give you an idea of how everything fits together. We call it Interdisciplinary Environmental Science and Society. The interdisciplinary is important because we have environmental science majors, and we also have, environmental science concentration, and also a environment and society concentration that is more of the non-science environmental, dealing with more of the non-science environmental issues. It's interdisciplinary in that we require the environment and society majors to take some science courses, and we require our environmental science majors to take some courses that are in like ethics and policy, regulations, so that it's interdisciplinary. You're more well-rounded when you're done with the program. That's the purpose of the interdisciplinary in the name. So to start off with, we have the common core courses. These are courses that all majors take, whether you're environmental science or environment and society. And I'm going to go over those shortly, but I just wanted to show you an overview of what the program looks like. And then the two concentrations kind of split up and take courses that are specialized. And then we bring them back together in the middle and towards the end of the program to take a topics course. So ENVI 305 is a topics course which kind of bridges the science and society concentrations. So for example, last semester that course involved fish and fisheries. So we looked at the science behind fish, where they grow, what their ecosystem is like, and things like that. And then you look at the non-science issues, regulations in fishing and overfishing, international waters, sometimes what those treaties are, things like that. Environmental law issues related to fish and fisheries. Next semester, so far it's being offered only in the winter semester. Next semester we're going to be doing urban geochemistry. So we'll be talking about things like brownfields, and if you remember the dioxane plume, so things like that, where you're dealing with issues that are environmental issues within an urban context. And then at the near the end, we have the capstone experience, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit more detail a little bit later on. But that is an experience which could be like a research experience or an internship experience. I'm pushing also for an entrepreneurial experience. So there are other options besides just internship, which so far most people have pursued. But again, I'll talk more about that in a little more detail later. Okay, the core courses. So for the first 2 years, all concentrations take these 5 courses. Okay, so there's Introduction to Environmental Science, Introduction to Environment and Society. Those 2 courses are kind of the introductory courses to the 2 concentrations. So you could take those courses. They both serve Gen Ed. So you could kind of take a look at our major, see if it's something that is of interest to you. Because they satisfy Gen Ed requirements, they don't necessarily slow down your graduation, although I think they serve the same requirements. So you would be doubling up on, I think that's global awareness. And then we have Geography 276, which is Principles of GIS. GIS is Geographical Information Systems. It's a way of mapping things. So for example, if you wanted to map invasive species and their progression with time, you could do that with GIS. There's all sorts of things you could do with GIS. If you know Google Earth is kind of similar in the functionality. And then we require elementary statistics and environmental ethics. Okay, that's for all concentrations. 3 other core courses that you would take in your first 2 years are the science courses. Now this is where a lot of confusion comes about because students I'm finding are taking both courses where it says or, and you don't have to take both courses. So let me explain exactly what you have to do here. So environmental studies, is basically a combination of environmental science. It's basically a combination of biology, chemistry, and earth science. And so those are the three sciences that we require for all concentrations. Now, if you are choosing the environment and society concentration, you can choose either Bio 226 or Bio 110. Okay, Bio 226 is a biology course for non-science majors, whereas Bio 110 is a course for science majors. You could choose to take either one. However, I find that a lot of the environment and society concentration majors who are taking the course for science majors are having trouble with the course. So if you're concerned about that, you may not want to take the course for science majors. And then there's the chemistry course. We have one for non-science majors, that's Chem 115 and 116. And then the one for the science majors is 121 and 122. And then earth science, we have 108 and 109 for non-science majors. And then 110 is the course for science majors. Again, if you're in environment and society, you have a choice. You can take one or the other. If you are an environmental science concentration major, you have to take the one for science majors, the ones that I've bolded up there. So the science majors have to take the bolded course. The environment and society majors can choose. And then the last two core courses come later in your major. The first one, again, is the Topics in Environmental Science and Society. That's 3 credit hours. It's offered every winter right now. We're hoping that it'll be offered more often when we get more majors. And then there's the capstone seminar. The capstone seminar usually goes with a 2 credit hour capstone experience requirement. Right now, that could be either an internship or a research project. Now, you can do an internship or a research project at any time during your major. However, to satisfy that particular requirement, you have to take ENVI 305 first. Okay. So if you're thinking of doing an internship, you cannot do the internship that satisfies the major until you have completed ENVI 305. And you cannot take ENVI 305 until you've completed all your core courses. Okay, they're prerequisites. And the reason we do that is because when you do your internship experience that satisfies the major, we want you to have a well-rounded background in environmental science or environment and society before you do your internship. And then you have to apply to the internship. And to apply to the internship, you'll fill out an application, which I'll send to you when you've registered for ENVI 305. And when you fill that out, you have to show me that you're going to do something on that internship that applies the knowledge you learn in your major. Okay? You can't just file papers, get coffee, and things like that. You have to do something that is related to your major. We want to see that you apply your knowledge to the internship or the research project. We want you to have a well-rounded knowledge in environmental science before you, while you're doing your research project that will satisfy the program. Okay. Again, you could start the research project before that time, but at some point you have to continue that project after ENVI 305 and then register for a 2 credit hour 498 course. I'm going to try to push also for an entrepreneurial experience too. There's a course called Management 488L, I think. It is basically allows you to come up with a business related to environmental concerns. And I think there's a lot of entrepreneurial opportunities in the environmental studies field. So that may also in the future satisfy this requirement. If you're interested in that, early on, come and see me, and we'll try and work something out. Okay? The benefit of this, and I kind of want to push this because there's a lot of people going into environmental science. There's a lot of jobs opening for environmental science, but I'm a little concerned that the number of people going into environmental science, and society, I should say, environmental studies, is outpacing the job opportunities. And so if we can develop our own job, our own businesses, then we to hire our own students and be sort of self-sustaining. So I'm kind of looking into the future. It's not a problem right now,